Hi, Helena.
Hi, Adam.
And hi to all of our listeners. We have got a fantastic and such an interesting episode for you today, all about the Fest system over in Germany with a couple of fantastic festies. But before we kick off with our amazing Fest singers, Helena, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Helena Dix. I'm the mischievous soprano who travels the globe, hunting down international high notes and having a bloody great time doing so. I recently moved back to my homeland and I'm hanging out in Melbourne, causing trouble, walking my dog, cooking good food and catching up with family and friends.
And my name is Adam Miller. I am a former opera singer turned producer, writer and director. And Helena, you and I have had the great pleasure of working together in lots of different capacities over the years. And now it's podcasting. But enough about us. Let's hear who we've got on the episode today.
On today's episode, we have two colleagues and friends of mine, Gerard Quinn and Chloe Morgan, both who have been living the Fest life over in Germany for a variety of times. Jerry's been in it for the long haul and Chloe's been more recent, and they provide a fascinating insight into life in the Fest system in Germany.
You're right, they really do. Now, by way of introduction, Chloe Morgan. Chloe is a British soprano and principal ensemble member at the Staatstheater Nuremberg. She trained in the UK and has built a reputation for her fresh, agile voice and expressive stage presence. She's performed roles like Nanetta in Falstaff, all the way through to Serpina from La Serva Padrona. Gerard Quinn is a Scottish baritone who's been a long-time member of Theatre Lubeck. He's performed a huge range of baritone roles, from Rigoletto all the way through to the Scottish opera. And he brings a wealth of experience from both the UK and German opera worlds. Now, we had a few technical difficulties in this recording with Gerard's sound, so I'm really sorry if he drops out here and there, but we tried our best. We pick up the conversation chatting about a very problematic director who was recently fired from a directing role. And if that sounds like it might pique your interest, then listen on.
He's like, you can't say that to the children. He's like, I can say it to the children. I am the director.
Oh my God.
And this whole thing kicked off and he left. He ended up just saying, F you. He was like, fuck you all. I am going to play tennis. And he just left. And Raina, who was the assistant, was just like, okay, let's all take a coffee break and come back at 10. We were just like, what is going on here?
How does he keep getting work?
Good question.
He's seen as when he was younger, he'd be sacked. Now he's seen as this kind of older, crazy genius.
Oh God.
When the same production that Jerry and I were doing, on the very final lot of notes before opening night, he abused me, went off to me because I refused to take all his crap, and I walked out and management said, oh, you have to come back in. And I said, no, I'm not sitting there and taking that, absolutely not. You can take my notes for me, And I thought on opening night, I'm going to get in trouble because I just walked out of his notes section. And he leaned over on opening night when there was a standing ovation for our show and said, I love you. And I was like,
oh my God, he's crazy.
He was so creepy.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey, I guess that brings me to my first question, which is how, I don't know either of you, Chloe or Jerry, how do you guys know Helena?
I was in the chorus in Wexford Festival Opera, and we think 2013, and we were plodding along doing this opera chorus thing, which was kind of no money, loads of work, and a bit of alcohol. And then Wexford is this sort of incredible bubble of niche, rare operas that aren't ever done. And sometimes that's a good thing because those operas should never have been done. And sometimes, you find this one gem every year. The rest of it's we did Donizetti, the missing hat, or just random rubbish. But they lost a soprano quite late, and then they had this new soprano come in, and we were like, oh, okay, fine, in this rainy, horrible town in south of Ireland. And then suddenly, we were in this stupid church that we were practicing in, and we just heard this, and we were like, whoa, And then suddenly this like headshot got sent round of this soprano like pulling this like face. And the company manager was this wonderful Italian guy, and we're like, "What's going on?" He's like, "There's a new lady," and he gave us this wink. And then in burst Helena, and I haven't been able to shake her since.
I love that as the perfect description of Helena. There is a lady. Yep, that sums her up.
I love the high note too.
Yeah,
So appropriate.
Queen of the High Notes. And there's this god awful picture of the final night, the closing night of the festival. In this one opera, Helena, you're gonna have to explain the story, Christina. But basically, there's this revolution, and she loses, and she has to leave, and she sings this aria, and we're all like at the chorus, like ah. And there's this picture of me, literally going, ah,
Literally crying. She was so in her character.
And Helena's just stood there with her suitcase, like, right, because I'm off. And I'm like, bye.
I couldn't actually look at Chloe because the chorus actually were quite moved. It was a really moving final scene, and I have to say, like, even for myself, when I'm like, I have to leave you all, and in my head I'm like, just don't look at Chloe because if I looked at her, she's like, and then I wouldn't be able to sing anything. Like, she was truly in it.
Bye.
Yeah, so I had to just look at the glazed version of what was going on and hope for the best.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And Jerry, what about you? How do you know Helena?
Well, when we first met, we were doing a concert performance of Hernani in 2014. Had a lot of laughter. And then she came over to do Attila in 2015. And we laughed a hell of a lot.
We did. It's a crazy show.
It's a funny story. I don't know if you know this story, Helena, but we were all barefoot in the first act, and basically in a kindergarten, and we had these crocs on our feet, plastic things to go from the dressing room to the stage, and you take them off and you go on stage. My 15 and I went on stage, and this fantastic music, and glanced over to the side of the stage, and Gabby, the dresser, was waving at me and pointing at my feet. I looked down, and I still had my blue croc on me. Everybody else was barefoot. So I thought, how am I going to get rid of these? So I took one off, and this is a sort of vengeful duet. And when Taras, the bass, who's in Nuremberg, do you know Taras?
Of course I know Taras.
Yeah, and he was the Attila that night, and he's up for a laugh as well. So basically, when he got to a suitable place, I threw one of the crocs in his direction off stage, and of course I missed him intentionally. And then I thought, oh bugger, I'll get the other one off, and I threw that at him as well. And Gabby picked them up.
Yeah, blue in a siege of white, because it was we were all in white. Yeah.
And then the last act, we were in wheelchairs.
Of course we were.
In an old folk song.
Oh, I've heard this story. Helena's told this story on one of the previous episodes. Wow. Okay.
Yes, about me being the only person unable to wheel the wheelchair across a stage at any great speed because these fuckers had already practiced, because every other production has wheelchairs in Germany. So
yeah, I think that was my third wheelchair opera in 3 seasons. Boring.
Yeah.
Hey, you were a pro. Me and my little legs and little arms were like trying to sing and like wheel across at the one time. Yeah. But yeah, that was a crazy production that we met on. Yeah. My goodness. Lots of stories.
I have another funny Helena Wexford story.
Oh, we love those.
Okay, so we were like N-Porben on the stage, and I don't know how you feel about this, Gerard, but like when a director uses the God mic, thank you, that's exactly the right reaction. So they don't come up onto the stage to help us. They stand in the audience with the lights off, and you just hear this, Chloe, left. No, the other left. This kind of stuff. And we were all tired, Wexford, whatever. And this poor director, who shan't be named, was like, Helena, please do this. Helena, please. And then suddenly this thick, brash Australian accent, are you calling me Helena? My name is Helena.
What?
And the thing is, it's like none of us particularly were fond of this guy, and the whole chorus was like, "Thank you."
Can I also say that director was highly OCD about props and where they went on the stage and the position of things. And so what I used to do to mess with him is if we had a coffee break and just before we got back, if I saw that he'd left, I'd move the chair like just slightly on angles and he'd come back in and he'd be like, stop, who moved the chair? And every time he'd like run up onto the stage and just like adjust the chair ever so slightly so that it was back at the right angle. And I was like,
I didn't know.
No one ever suspected me. I've just admitted that. I'm going to go into opera jail now.
Talking about the wrong left, that's one thing, Adam, that in Germany where, well,
your stage lefts are different, aren't they?
Stage left is as you look at the audience, it's stage left, people left. But it's from the director's point of view, stage left is actually stage right as a British point of view. So I was swimming, I was drowning for the first season that I was working in Germany.
I'm still drowning and I'm dyslexic and they'll be like, Chloe left. I'm like, wait, it's not that one.
No, the other left.
I had a friend growing up who didn't know their left from their right spontaneously, but if you said treble or bass, because they played a lot of piano, they were great. Immediately they went treble and bass and knew exactly which way to turn. It was fantastic.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
No, I like that one a lot.
That's so cool. So, guys, taking you back to the early beginning, I was going to start with you, Jerry. So, Jerry, how long have you been in the Fest system for?
Well, I started in Osnabrück. I was there for 3 years and came in 1998, so 25 years now. No, 27 years.
Long old time. And what kind of started you off on the Fest life? What appealed to you back then of doing it?
I was out of work in the UK. It's always a good incentive. I've been doing quite a lot at Covent Garden, doing big covers and medium-sized roles. And then the Opera House closed down for the refit. It's a very long time. I'm very old. So I got the chance of an audition and came over, been there ever since. What was your first
impression of the Fest life in Germany and how different it was to the work that you've been doing in England?
Oh, there's so many things about it. The fact that I've got some notes here.
Look at you, prepared.
There we go.
I don't.
What? One of the good things about Germany is that you get paid for 13 months in a year.
Of course.
And I believe in Austria or Switzerland, it's 14.
Oh, wow.
You get 6 weeks free in the summer, but there's no guaranteed free at the weekends or national holidays. You're free on Christmas Eve or 24th, which is Heiligabend, as they celebrate, and the 1st of January. The rehearsal times are annoying because you can't plan them.
Because you only get a week's notice? Is that right? Like with your rehearsal schedule, you get a
day.
A day.
A day. Yeah.
No. Oh my God.
Yeah. You have to put an Urlaubschein, a request for free time in for a dentist appointment. You can't just say, I need to go to the dentist unless you stay there.
Wow.
So it's from 10 till 2 and from 6 till 10 in the evening. So you've got the afternoons free normally, unless there's somebody jumping in as a guest, and they will do an extra rehearsal for that person. And then normally there's no the rehearsals on Sunday or Saturday evening, unless there's a jump in from somebody else. But the Saturday evening on rehearsals, they're allowed to do rehearsals in the evening before the first premiere of the season, which is a pain in the butt.
Wow!
So they can throw in an orchestra rehearsal on a Saturday night when everybody's absolutely whacked. The costume fittings. They used to do this to me, and I eventually gave them the finger. They would call me at 9:30, and I'd say, "But I'm not in. I'm in at 10 o'clock." And I used to comply, but I don't anymore. They used to supply rehearsal clothes and shoes and knee pads and things. So that's something. The monthly wage is not as much as it would be if you were guesting, but there is a security about that.
Yeah.
And during COVID, for example, all the colleagues in the UK, for example, who are freelance, lost so much, even gave up.
Oof.
I was paid 100% all the way through, which was something else.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if you're jumping in anywhere, don't forget to ask which language it's going to be in. Because if you're doing something from Benjamin Britten, for example, we did Albert Herring many years ago, and at the end of the season, I got a phone call from a house in Switzerland, I think, to see if I could do the part. For them, the very last sentence was, which language are you doing it? And we had done it in German. Oh, English, of course. Oh, no, sorry. Not in 2 days' notice.
Oh,
No.
wow.
You did it in German.
Yeah. They did it again recently, but they did it in English.
It doesn't feel like that would have been pleasant.
No, I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
Good for you.
I got asked to do a normal once and I was like, oh yeah, and then someone said, they're doing it in Swedish, right? And I'm like,
Why?
what? Not a language I've got in my back pocket. That's for sure.
What? World shattered.
Yeah, Casta Diva in Swedish.
Jesus.
Oh, man.
Yeah, my first ever opera in Germany was Pirates of Penzance, but in German.
Oh, no.
That's right. I remember that.
Oh, God.
So, Chloe, take us back. How long have you been doing Fest for? Slightly shorter time than Jerry.
This is the end of my 3rd season.
And so Pirates was your first. And sorry, I should say, what brought you over there? What was the journey for you?
Have you finished, Jerry? You've got your list.
Yes. Oh no, I've got more.
We've got more. We'll come back. We'll come back to the list.
Jesus.
On other things.
My route was random. Really, sorry.
That's all right. We bleep everything out.
We've got a duck noise for that.
Noise. It's fine.
Yeah,
A duck.
Okay.
That's gonna be so many quacks.
I've made it. No, I did my degree in jazz. I was basically sort of a pianist and a sort of hotel singer when I was a kid. And then my parents were like, you can't study jazz, that's not a real degree. And I was like, okay. So I applied for the classical course as well. Didn't get in. I'm like, well, God decided. So now I'm a jazz singer. And then sorry, this is the long story. Then 3 years into my course, we had a new head of jazz who decided he hated singers and was going to fail me because he didn't want them on the course anymore.
Oh.
I was like, you're telling me this before I'm cool. And then, of course, he failed me. He's like, bye, have a nice life. And then the classical faculty were like, whoa. Funny story. There was a bit of a clerical error and we put you on the wrong course when you applied. But you look so happy. We just left you. But now because it's all exploded, you can come onto the classical course. And I was like, okay.
What?
Wow.
And they charged me to go back a year. So I did 5 years of undergrad. Oh. And they were like, well, you've been singing with a microphone and we've got 6 sopranos, so maybe you should be a mezzo. I'm like, cool, what's that? I'd never studied singing, and they were like, and this woman spent like 2 years.
I can't imagine you as a mezzo, my God.
What are you talking about? And then so that went horribly wrong. And then I got an audition for this old guy in this group, and I got into the group because I didn't really know who he was. That was John Elliott Gardner, and I became an apprentice for the Monteverdi Choir.
Wow.
I shook the wrong guy's hand. I shook the assistant. And I swear to this day, if I knew who they were, I'd never have got in.
Wow.
Because you would have been too nervous about it.
Too nervous.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like I was rude or like cocky. I just didn't care, didn't know. Anyway, skip forward 12 years and I've been a choral mezzo touring the world. And then the assistant from Wexford was like, oh, we need some singers in this chorus that we're setting up this pro chorus in this place in Ireland. Can you come? And I was like, yeah, opera. Cool. What's that? And then Helena screamed in my ear and I've never looked back. No, but in terms of Germany, I was pootling along in England. And then
you have to tell us the very cool gig that you did, because you worked with Adam's doppelganger.
Oh, this is at Grange Park
in Falstaff.
Yeah. Oh God. So there, basically, before that there was this competition called By Voice Alone, set up by Melanie Lodge, and it was this. I was just reaching my 30s, and I was like, okay, I have no idea what I'm doing with my life. And this competition came up where it didn't matter how old you are, what school you went to, what your CV said. Come and audition. There's no application forms, and it would be behind a screen. So I rocked up, sang some arias, left, and I got through to the final. And this whole initiative was like, you could sing in front of whoever would turn up, head of castings for E&O, Royal Opera House, blah, blah, blah. And I won a sort of what I call the wooden spoon, like the emerging artist prize, despite being one of the oldest. And then I got a Facebook message from someone who I knew years ago saying, "Hey, do you know how to sing Nanetta?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Just for the listeners at home, Chloe just shook her head.
Vividly. Yeah. You say yes and then figure it out afterwards. And so she's like, "Okay, Wasfikani wants to hear you." I was like, "Cool, who's that?" And drove down to Grange Park, this beautiful theatre in the woods. And there were 4 of us that day, and we were all the same sort of heights, sort of look. And I stood up on the stage and I sang the aria, and I heard this, "How tall are you?" And I was like, 5'4". That one.
Wow.
And I got the job.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like Wasfi.
Yeah. Well, they'd already hired a Fenton who was not particularly tall.
Amazing.
And then COVID happened, and we assumed everything would fall apart. But the Falstaff was being sung by none other than Sabrin, and so they were going to make that one happen. And then that happened. I made my debut on the operatic stage as Nanetta with Bryn Terfel singing Falstaff at the merry age of 33 or something.
Wow.
Feeling like the biggest imposter in the whole wide world, you know. No, and that's why in my naive state, I wrote to all these agencies like, "I'm a soprano, ha ha ha," and they were like, "Bye, have a nice life, you old." If you think you're the first person to sing Nanetta, yeah, thank you. And then one of this agency was like, "Hey, look, we don't want you, but are you free to go to Germany?" And I was like, "Yeah, why?" And they're like, "There's a job going in Nuremberg." And this was just as like another wave of COVID hit. And it was like, this is insane. And one of my best friends, Tom, was like, "This is a once in a lifetime. You should do it." It cost me something like 500 quid. The flights, the hotel, the train, the COVID tests,
Oh, wow.
the isolating. And because I was convinced nothing would happen, it was actually one of the best auditions I've ever done. You know, I hadn't been on a plane for 2 years. And all of a sudden I was in Germany on a stage, and there's a big cross on the stage, and it was really far back. And I was like, "Hi, pianist," and sang my stuff and went home. And they were like, "Can you come back?" And I was like, I mean, I'd have to quarantine in Switzerland for 2 weeks, but sure. But I didn't. So they paid this time. They paid for my testing and for everything, and sort of skipped the bureaucracy side of it. And then they're like, "Can you start in January?"
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And the rest is history.
The rest is stuck here now.
And you've done so many. I mean, even in your short space of time, you've done so many parts, haven't you?
Well, that's the thing. Like I went from, I'd sung chorus at Glyndebourne, and I'd sung my Nanetta in Grange Park, and I'd done a master's in Cardiff with the wonderful Dennis O'Neill.
Oh, wonderful.
But he didn't. Oh, love that man. But he didn't. It wasn't like a performance degree. It was like 1 year, fix your voice. So I'd never really sung any of these roles. And in the space of 3 years, I've done something like 20 roles, and they've all been debuts. They've all been, and it's just been like, hey, this is opera.
Jerry, I hate to think how many roles you've done in your time. Have you ever counted them? I mean, you're probably out of fingers and toes as far as that's concerned.
Oh, yeah. In Lubeck alone, I've done around 100.
Wow.
In total, so I think it's now up to about 130.
Wow.
That's crazy.
But with the system over here, it's not the system that they have in Italy or the big houses where we do a block of 5 performances over 2 weeks. They space them out over the whole season. So sometimes you get a month and a half between performances, which is, if it's something modern, it's not easy to try and drag it up again.
Especially with something with dialogue as well. We were just doing a production of the Threepenny Opera by Kurt Weill.
Cool.
And I had it's really cool. And I had a really small role, which was mostly dialogue. And we were double cast. So my shows were literally sometimes 2 months apart with no like warm-up rehearsal. They're like, "Okay, go." And you're like, "Ah!" Whilst also learning 5 other operas. You know, you're in Endproben for one, you're just beginning the other, and also looking at your roles for next season.
Wow. So what does that look like, Chloe? What does your week look like? You're saying, you know, you've got five operas on the go. You get up on Monday morning. What does your week look like?
I mean, there's no such thing as a typical week, I guess. Like you frantically check the targets, the daily schedule. So in the middle of the season, say, like, it depends on your season as well, how they do the dispo. For some reason, since I've been here, all of my shows have been overlapping.
Right.
So you start one show, and then when you get out of the rehearsal studio, the next one starts. So you're running like this with 2 or 3 at the same time.
So you've got evening performances of one show,
And then
and then
rehearsals
you're
in
in
the morning.
rehearsals. Yeah.
Exactly. And in your free time,
Free time
which
in
is
inverted commas. Yep.
the free time, which is the time that you have between 2 and 5, where you have to wash yourself and your flat and do like life admin. You also got to learn the music and the text and file tax returns, which is incredible. I remember my first year, I was basically buying new underwear because I had no time to wash it.
Wow.
Like, it was insane. So yeah, like you wake up, you have a rehearsal or you have a coaching. That is another really good thing about the Fest system. They provide coaches to teach you the music.
Oh, great.
Some singers don't use them. Some singers prefer to work with their own teachers and coaches. But for me, it's just, okay, put me down on the schedule, spend 2 hours with one of the reps, and let's just learn the stuff. So then you have a morning studio rehearsal, stage rehearsal, Sitzprobe, or coaching. And then you have your afternoon crash out coma break. And then you go back to the theatre for the evening, which is fine in the summer. But in the winter, that's impossible. If it gets dark at 3:30 and you have to get out of bed and go back to the theatre, you run out of Bach pretty fast.
Oh, yes.
I have to say, when I've worked over in Germany, I thought it was awesome. I was like, oh, we get the afternoon off, and then I quickly realized that, of course, I mean, I'm only there on one contract, so it's much easier for me than for you guys. But I quickly realized that the turnaround when you finish late and start early, you kind of walk in the morning, you're like, oh, okay, all right, we're back here again, which does make the afternoon should be quite productive. You know, you go grocery shopping, you do all those things, but half the time I would imagine for you guys especially, you know, you're chasing your tail, you're tired, you need to have a nap, you need to have a proper meal, you know, all those kind of things.
Do you just end up
you know?
staying at the theatre?
You fight it. I mean, we have a good canteen in our theatre, but I know some people don't. I think the problem is eating. Like, Helena, you said that, like, coming from England, I had like my routine and everything, and then you come here and, you know, my first couple of weeks I'd have a really good breakfast and then try and have lunch. But like, when you drag yourself out of bed at 9 o'clock and you're running a bit late and you've maybe showered, you get to the theatre and then you have a pretzel in the break, and then you come home and you're like, okay, I need to have lunch in this 4 hours, but also dinner, because if you're leaving to go to the theatre maybe at 4 or 5, that's not really late enough to eat dinner. But then you finish at 10 and the director won't stop giving you notes until 11. So you're home by 11:30. You don't have time to eat dinner, but you're hungry. And then you go to bed and then you wake up at 9:30 and I'm late for work. And then you get to the theatre
and it rolls again.
and then you have a pretzel in the break, and then you go home, sleep, maybe wash your clothes, and then you're like, it's too late for lunch. So then you go back to the theatre, and then it's too late for
Yeah,
Wow.
we get it. Jerry, at the start when you were doing Fest, you would have had quite a young family, I would imagine too. So that must have been, I mean, great to have the income and everything. And I would imagine for a lot of our listeners who are listening in that a lot of singers who want to have a family younger and have that security of having an income would be amazing. How did you deal with that when you had the young family and stuff? Did you find it helpful, or was it actually quite difficult with the schedule?
My wife took over.
Yeah.
She's a soprano, but her career went on hold because we've got 4 kids.
Oh,
But you needed one person really to hold down the fort. Did you find the hours, because, you know, again, a lot of people look to the Fest system to be supportive of having a family. So in the kind of strange hours that you hold, in the sense of going home in the afternoon, is it appealing because you can, I mean, I'm being naive because I don't know, but is it appealing in the sense of, like, you could pick the kids up from school in that time, or you could at least spend some time with them, or that kind of thing? Or is it just hard?
It's hard.
Yeah.
You can spend a little bit of time with them in the afternoon after they get back from school, but then you crash out.
yeah.
Yeah.
We tried to sort of figure out why we have these crazy working hours, and it was because the orchestra needed it, or it's because the people with families needed to pick up their kids from school. And then we were like, well, this is so stupid. And then last year, the intendant was like, shall we try doing 10 to 1, 2 to 5? And some of us were like, yes. And then the orchestra were like, no, it has not been that way. So we cannot change this. And it's like,
Oh, no.
and it's a very sort of lemming mentality. But I think the argument is people like it because they can pick their kids up from school. And in terms of what I've heard, like that is the golden rule. Kids are important. So we won't change the system. But no one I know likes it. And I remember my dad, before he retired, was a consultant anaesthetist in a London hospital. And he said they were trying so hard to stop split shifts for nurses, especially because it's psychologically damaging to work those hours. But in the FES system, it's fine.
Am I right though again, like looking at it from the outside in, and I'm trying to put my hat on to think of young singers who are coming up and looking at the FES program. Do you think I would look at it and go, oh, but yeah, you can take the afternoon, you can go grocery shopping, for instance, or you might catch the stores still while they're open, or you might catch the bank still while they're open, or you might be able to do all these things that you wouldn't be able to do necessarily if you were, maybe working a 9 to 5 kind of thing. I mean, does that occasionally have its benefits, or in the reality of how heavy the program is, are you really predominantly going home, sleeping, resting, eating, what's the reality?
That's the thing. There's so many dependents. I don't know about you, Gerard, but it depends on who the Reggie assistant is. It depends if it's run well. Because so many times I've been like, okay, I'll check the schedule and I'm called. And then I go back to the theatre and they're like, oh, sorry, that was a mistake. We don't need you, or that kind of thing, which is, but the good thing is, I suppose you can go to doctor's appointments and stuff. So that's good for the afternoon. The other thing that was a culture shock for me when I came here, because I'd been to Germany loads of times, but living here is very different. Shops don't open on Sundays.
That's right, yeah.
And I first arrived on a Sunday. I was like, cool, here's my flat. Let's get some food. No.
I did too.
Oh, Jesus.
The only place I could get food was the train station, which didn't bode well for,
No, and Nuremberg is the second most deadly train station in Germany.
I know, yeah.
There's a sign saying, please don't bring weapons.
Oh, my God.
They asked nicely.
It's very ordered and also very precise. I like it.
Very precise. You can have your weapons, but please don't here. And Bavaria is a very religious state. And so there's all sorts of bank holidays. I don't know if it's the same for you, but especially in the summer, it's like, oh, you've got the days off, shops are shut, can't get food. It's like,
What are the advantages then? What draws people to the FES system and keeps people in the FES system?
Well, Jerry's obviously been kept there for...
handcuffed.
A kept man, as they say.
It's the stability. Yeah. You've got a regular wage.
And do you find that it changes your craft at all, that it helps you hone certain skills, or is it something that ultimately could be detrimental? Like, Jerry, probably you over the years would have seen people come and go in and out of the FES system. Have you seen people just burn out in that system?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And great talents, but you think, oh, that's a fantastic voice. And usually tenors, actually.
That's great. We are here for tenor bashing. We're all about that. That's great.
No.
It's a safe place.
I won't mention the name, but there's one particular tenor, fabulous voice. And when I heard him first, I thought, oh my God, we're in a different league here. But at the end of the season, I thought, oh, he's got a few problems. And then it got more concerning, and eventually he went. But it basically, if you haven't got your technique sorted out by the time you're 40, you could have major problems.
Right.
And talking about the vocal resilience, as you said, you've seen people come and go through the program, and some can't take it, and some. What do you both think is the key to your own vocal health and survival? Like, what do you have a strict regime? What I've always admired and found really quite amazing about the German FES singers when I've gone in and worked as a guest in Germany is just the resilience and the ability to be able to do a show in the evening and then rehearse another thing during the day, and they could be such contrasting works and still be able to vocally produce the goods. And it's like, I mean, really, some of them do it better than others. And Jerry, you're probably one of the best that I've ever seen, you're just always secure and always there. And they're very lucky to have a singer like yourself who is that way, because otherwise you're getting such variable kind of, performances, and the public know, don't they? I mean, that's the other thing, right, guys? You guys have,
Yeah.
I'm sure you both have such regular people who come to the opera houses, and it's like going to the cinema in Germany. It's like, people go to the opera so regularly. There's so much on, and they'll quite comfortably come, so they'll know if their house singers are, producing what they're used to hearing as well. So, do you guys both have your own kind of set routines and health and survival? What do you reckon?
I mean, sorry, you've hit on so many things that one of the benefits of being in Germany is that you get constant work. In England, as a middle-aged soprano, I was just being overlooked because I spent so many years in the chorus, and it's very difficult. And then suddenly I have the opportunity to sing whatever the hell they throw at me, and that's invaluable. The other good thing is, like you said, the theatre is very much a community, and every Staatstheater, or every town has a theatre, and the public are very fond of the theatre, and they all know us, and we've got our fans, and they come and see us, and they send us messages. And I don't know how you feel, but it's the survival mentally is very dependent on your colleagues. If you have a good ensemble, like sometimes, I mean, since I've been here, we've had a sort of GMD Vexel situation, and nothing's quite settled. And we've had a lot of Kapellmeisters come and go, but the thing that keeps me going is my colleagues, my ensemble colleagues. And I'm sure every house has issues in different fields, but the one thing about my theatre especially is the ensemble of soloists. We're all very good friends, and we very much look after each other, and that's what keeps you going. Like, I shouldn't admit this, but like, I have no idea what I'm doing vocally. It just hasn't broken yet.
Don't worry, we'll edit that out. That's fine.
Yeah, beep. But like, I came here like with no real experience, and now I've got my Lax Vox straw, I've got my nebulizer, there's the Ipalat throat sweets, there's there's all the shoo-doo voodoo stuff that everyone does, which is working. The only issue the biggest issue for me has been mentally coping.
Sure.
It is so draining. And it is, sometimes you turn up and you see a costume and you're like, oh, it's that one today. Cool. And it depends on the size of your house. Like if you have a big ensemble or a small ensemble, like thankfully our ensemble is getting bigger. But when I first arrived, I would be singing Hindemith one day, Mozart the next day, Fledermaus the next day. And it's like, it's really hard to stay, who am I and what am I doing? And the fest singer, you have to be a sort of jack of all trades, master of none, but completely aware of who you are at all times. Because if you get lost, you're done, and I don't know if it's the same for you, but in my contract, it just says soprano. It doesn't say what Fach I am. So if there's an opera that needs a soprano, well, she's a soprano, she can sing it, Tosca. No, and you have to be very careful. And it's something from going from a freelance singer in England for many, many years, where can you do this? Yes. Can you do this? Yes. To learn to say no is a really important skill.
Yeah.
And, orchestras and choirs are unfireable, but the ensemble, if you do something wrong, you're gone. They can tell you in October if they want you gone for the next year.
Wow.
And so there's still this fear of proving myself, saying yes to everything. And for the first 2 years I did that. I was like, can you sing for this gala? Yeah. Can you sing for these? Yeah. Can you do this? Yeah. And now I'm like, okay, well, stop. And I think that's the surviving mechanism for me. And you can see a lot of fest singers, like you mentioned your tenor colleague. If you have this beautiful, amazing talent, it's very easy for that to be crushed. You have to have this like really strong sense of like, I don't want to say this because it sounds wrong, but like a basic singer with a basic voice that can sometimes do other things. Those are
or to be flexible. Yeah.
Right.
Utility
Those
singer.
are the fest singers.
Yeah.
Cannon fodder.
Sure.
I warned Helena before we did this podcast. Like, it's been a hard year, and like I don't know how to positively encourage people to do Fest right now mentally because it's been insane. But there are amazing things. You know, you can have amazing colleagues. The town, I'm very lucky. Nuremberg is a beautiful place to
Yes,
live.
yeah.
It's, you know, and
you're right, the people that you surround yourself with. And Jerry, you would have had many different like groups of fest singers and stuff. Do you find in Lübeck that people hang around for a long time? You have people around for a long. I mean, you've obviously been there a little while, but do you have groups of people that kind of come and go, or is it quite mixed?
Yeah, there's about 3 of us that are on Quinn, which is as the story says, you're thinking they're going to sack me in October, and I've got to get my act together, but by June and find somewhere else. But because I've been here over 15 years, you become unstuckable, basically.
Right.
So can I just add something? This is sorry to interrupt you. This is the problem though. Like our theatre doesn't want on-comp bar singers, and we've got 2 amazing colleagues who are at the 15-year mark, and they know they're not going to keep their job, but they've had kids here, they've got their lives here. And the thing is, once you've been Fest for 15 years, it's kind of hard to get another job.
Yeah.
Especially if your voice, your brain, everything's fried. No other theatre is going to want an older singer.
No.
And it's hard because it's, you know, like I worked in Essen recently, and they're so proud of the fact they've got loads of on-comp bar singers. Like they like that. But in
so
our
it depends where you are then. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're very, very, very lucky to have.
So do you feel that, Jerry? Do you feel the security in Lübeck? You know, you feel.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I was just outside Lübeck. I went to the opera director just before we were going to finalise the buying of the house. Do you still have me in mind after next season? And she said, oh yes, of course. I said, because we're going to commit this purchase, and I have to know, am I going to get the book before we finish paying for it? And but I'm lucky in that respect. Though. Very thankful. And I've had fabulous roles to do over the years. Basically, all the wishes in my wish list have been nearly all have been taken.
Wow.
Well, that was going to be one of my questions. Actually, it was around certainly a role wish list, if not a life wish list. So, what are the roles that have been your favourite, Jerry? And I guess we know there's nothing left on the wish list.
Well, there's still a couple, but of the Verdi operas, I've specialised a lot in the Italian repertoire.
Okay.
And I think I've done about 13, 14 Verdi parts.
What is the zaniest thing or the zaniest costume? Or what? Come on, you must have a standout where you're like, what that? I can't even imagine what that was. Come on, there must be one. Both of you.
I have to say, like, German Regie-Theater is a thing, and I haven't done anything traditional or classic except for the Pirates of Penzance. That was almost borderline offensive, sort of taking the piss out of England. But at least it looked good. The one most of the time I have like modern costume. Our intendant sets everything in the 1940s. But we did Zauberflöte this year, and it was directed by our ballet chef who'd never done an opera before.
Oh wow!
And it's coming back, and he's amazing. But he decided that the overture, Tamino overdoses. So the whole thing is his subconscious.
What?
And it kind of works. Like Monostatos is his repressed sexuality, blah, 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 blah. But in his concept, Tamino and Pamina were one person.
Okay.
So Pamina sort of represented Tamino's inner strength, blah, 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 blah. Very, very intellectual. But of course, because, and it was my role debut as Pamina. So you're thinking a princess in a dress and blah, blah, no. Because Tamino overdoses and is in hospital, he's therefore wearing a open-backed hospital gown.
No.
And because I was a part of him, we had matching costumes.
No.
I asked to have a naked skin suit, and they're like, oh yeah, you should have one of them. Yeah.
Can I just say, wait a second. So I just would like to say that on one of my first major operations that I had in the NHS, where you had to wear one of those hospital gowns with the opening on the back, this gorgeous, gorgeous nurse said to me, lady, we need to get you another gown to put on the back because I can see everything because it wouldn't quite tie all the way around. And I was like, can you give me one for the back as well? She said, I think it is best because you have to walk down to operating theatre. It does not look so good for you. And I was like, well, it doesn't look good for anyone, let's face it.
Oh, no.
I'm just glad to say I wasn't part of that production.
Once I'd gotten over the fact that my ass was out and they gave me this cap to cover my hair and I had like terrible makeup on, not badly done, but just like basic makeup. It was very liberating, like, because once you stop trying to be the pretty princess and then relying on that, it was literally just about my voice and the physicality of the role. And I didn't have to see myself, everyone else did, but I didn't care. It was actually quite liberating. I hate the pictures and I won't watch the video, but it was a pleasurable experience in the end.
Oh, that's fantastic. On that liberating note, I'm conscious that we're pretty much coming up to time, so we'll probably wrap it up here. But I do want to say a huge thank you. And before you go, we always like to ask our guests 5 rapid fire questions. Are you both up for our 5 rapid fire questions? We love it. Fantastic. You don't look sure at all. And yeah, I dig that. That's fine. A little bit of fear is great sometimes.
We're artists.
Helena, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah. Okay, guys. Have you ever juggled before, Jerry?
No.
Chloe?
Yeah.
Fantastic. There we go.
You're a juggler.
I didn't say I was good.
Oh, that's fine.
No,
we still count it.
I did card tricked one.
Okay.
That's not the same.
No.
But maybe that's a question we should start to ease in for second round interviews. I like it. Have either of you or have both of you busked before?
Yes.
Did you make any money?
Yes.
Oh, there we go. You like that.
No.
No? You need to start that up in Lubeck, busking for the month,
I've done some crap gigs. But they were usually inside.
I grew up in Bath, which is a very touristy town.
Oh, yes. Love Bath.
And we'd stand outside the Abbey and sing and get lots of tourist money.
Perfect. Okay, guys. If you weren't singers, what job do you think you would do?
You first.
Maybe an actor, but not in Germany, because they all have to do it. Everything's in German. And I've been here for so long in Germany, but, I'm still correct on my children. Der, die, das, den,
Jesus Christ.
denen.
Before we get to your answer, Chloe, it is a question that I wanted to ask earlier on. How do you both cope with the language? I'm guessing you didn't go over to Germany as fluent speakers already. What was that like for you?
It was a nightmare. And then with Pidgin German, I hadn't had I had sort of the text to Andy Musik and the and things like that as my total command of German.
So you could talk to people a lot about trouts and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And how wonderful music was. But as to learn German properly, I learned in the job.
Wow.
I love that.
Well, I, of course, never thought that I would be a soloist or in Germany and didn't learn German and arrived here and was thrown in the deep end. And my Denglish is amazing.
Oh, thank you. Fluent.
And I know I know the people in the theatre that cannot speak English, so I butcher their language in front of them, and then I know the people that can.
Their fault.
Right? The problem is like my intendant one day was like, Chloe, you have to like speak German so you could read Goethe, and I was like, Mr. Intendant, when do I have time? When? Show me the free time I have to do a German course. And the bureaucracy, I got here just after Brexit during COVID.
Oh, gosh.
No one knew what the new rules were. And I don't know about you, but like in every different amt, there will office department, there will be someone with a different opinion.
Oof.
And when I tried to get here, I was meant to start doing Pirates in January. But the theatre, for reasons only known to themselves, wrote down the official form that I was a ballet dancer, not an opera singer. And so I went to the embassy in Germany and I'm like, the embassy in London. I'm like, I'm going to Germany. She's like, and she looked at me. She's like, you're a ballet dancer. And I was like, no, I'm an opera singer. She's like, well, this is a false document, so we're denying your visa.
No.
And then I quickly rang the theatre. I was like, oh, you need it. So they emailed me, and she was like, no, it has to be a wet piece of paper. Wet, as in it has to be the piece of paper that was signed by the theatre.
No.
Could only be posted, would not accept an email, would not accept a fax. So I didn't start my Fest contract until the March.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Wow.
I lost a fortune.
Oh.
And the bureaucracy in Germany, it's
Oh, that's
But yes.
hideous.
So you have to learn quickly to get the language and
You have to
be
learn
able to
quickly.
deal with all these people.
Oh, gosh,
Yeah.
that's right.
And they've got no sense of humour.
No.
Oh,
No,
God.
except my partner has a sense of humor. He's kind of weird like that, and he's got 2 kids from his other marriage, and his kids are trying to teach me German, but the der die das thing. My favorite thing, like when they think of me as stupid, so I'll just throw it back to them. I'm like, why? Why is that feminine? And they're like, we don't know.
It just is.
Right, bringing us back on track though. What question were we up to, Helena? We were up to.
I was asking Chloe what job she'd love to do if she wasn't.
Oh, God.
Perfect.
We were talking about this recently, like after COVID, like if people retrained. I don't know. It's only ever been music.
A ballet dancer.
A ballet, naturally. I like you. I was a pianist, you were a flautist, but I realized that I wasn't good enough. And one of the reasons I started singing is because I saw that on the Associated Board exam list, you didn't have to do scales if you were a singer. So I was like, well, that sounds fun.
Oh, that's great. Okay. Chloe, we're going to start with you. If you could perform a duet with anyone in the world, living or dead, who would it be? And it doesn't have to be opera. It can be pop. It can be jazz. It can be anything you want.
Oh, you just made it.
Oh,
wow.
there we go.
Eva Cassidy.
Oh, fantastic.
Eva Cassidy. Nice.
Fantastic. We had an Eva Cassidy at the end of last season as well. Very good. There we go.
She's the reason I sing.
Wow.
Yeah, she's the reason that I like. But before you said it doesn't have to be opera, I was thinking either Montserrat or Pavarotti.
Good choices as well. Very good choices.
But then you said
Nice.
not opera, and I was like, Eva.
And Gerard, what about you?
That's a tricky one. One of my favourite singers of all time is Nat King Cole.
Oh, great. Oh, another fantastic choice.
Or Ella. Ella Ella.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
just
great.
too many. Just too many.
Just watching you guys just go off the traps there about these. Good. I love it. All right, guys. Chloe, if you had to enter every room with a personal theme song for the rest of your life, what would it be? I can just imagine what this is going to be. Yeah, go on.
Da, 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 da.
Oh, we love a good Darth Vader theme.
What about you, Jerry?
Darby's entrance music.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I
Oh,
love how we're both villains.
that is great.
Oh, they're the most fun.
Oh.
Yeah, right? Playing the good guy is boring.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
it's
only
absolutely-
friends. I'm only friends with operatic villains, guys. That's why you're both on the podcast.
Oh, that's
And
this is-
great.
This is my little bonus question because it's been a joke of ours all through the podcast. So, Jerry, I'm going to ask you, do you eat pizza with a knife and fork?
Oh, God.
No.
Good.
I had pizza last night. It was our 35th wedding anniversary.
Congratulations.
Amazing.
Aw.
Congratulations.
Oh, Helena, do you use a knife and fork?
She does. She
Yeah.
does, to her shame.
You're on a
So,
timeout.
Chloe,
You're on a
confirming
timeout.
that you are firmly in the use your hands to eat pizza camp.
Chloe's definitely on the hands.
Yes.
She's definitely
Come
on the
There
hands.
we go.
All over the face, you roll it up and you shove
That's
it in.
the way. Yes. So much more respect.
Right.
I love
We
We
it.
are still talking about pizza, right, Chloe?
Oh, yeah, that.
Just checking. Yeah, okay.
On that victorious note for me, I think we will wrap it up. So I just wanted to say, Chloe, Jerry, thank you so much. This has been fantastic. And God, we could have talked for hours longer. There's so much more I'd love to hear
Yeah.
about the Fest system
Yeah.
and your
I've still
lives
got a lot
over
of notes here.
Oh, bless you.
Oh, that's fantastic. We'll have to do this again.
Yeah, love to.
Thank you for
All
having
right, guys.
me.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you.
We'll chat soon. Bye.
Bye.
You too.
Bye.
Be safe. Bye.